YouTube, what's going on? Once again, my name is Untarimi, and today I am bringing you guys another game review. This will be my second game review in the installments of my so-called reviews. And just, I'm going to brief up on myself again here real quick. I go by the title of Untarimi. I just made up the name if you guys are wondering. I do strictly PS2 reviews and Let's Plays. And today I'm going to be covering the game Jak and Daxter. And I'm going to start off with some history of the game, just like last review on Shadow of the Colossus. Jak and Daxter is a video game franchise that was created by Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin and is owned by the Sony Cooper Entertainment. This series was developed by Naughty Dog Inc. and had a number of installments being outsorted to Ready at Dawn and High Impact Games. The first entry is one of the earliest titles to release on the PlayStation 2 is regarded as defining franchise for the consoles. This game is known as Jak and Daxter. Now I'm gonna go into like a little bit more of the history and now gameplay aspect of the game. This game is it's a platform when it comes to genre, so it's like Mario and those type of games. And the developers are Naughty Dog from 21 to 2013, Ready Dawn 06, High Impact Games 09, Nihilistic, I think, Software 2011, Mass Media Incorporated 2012 and 2013, and the publishers are Sony Cooper Entertainment. Now I gotta go into, I'm gonna start going into what I think about the game and the gameplay of it. The gameplay, I feel like, is really smooth when it comes to this type of game. It's a good platformer. It has the right amount of difficulty starting from the first part to the end of the game. It starts with like the tutorial type of thing and has a great storyline going along with it. But the storyline I'm going to touch on next. But let's stick with the gameplay. The gameplay is really smooth. Each button does a certain amount of things. All the actions are incorporated with either the back 4 buttons or the buttons and the joysticks on the front of the controller, which is exactly what you want to look for in these type of games. This game, I'm gonna stop saying this game, but this has a lot of good aspects ratio. It's the first in a series, and it goes Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, which is the one I'm reviewing about, and then it's Jak 2 and Jak 3. In this game, though, it's regarded you only have your fist, you can only like punch and kick people to attack them. And basically, the game feels really smooth in my hands. I don't know how it feels about yours, but that's just about it for the gameplay. I'm going to talk about some of the aspects of the game that I really like. I'm going to first start off with the HP gauge. The HP gauge I thought was really well, and they incorporate that in the other games with just a little bit different. And it's got a smooth type of feel. So when you know you get hit, it's your fault that you got hit and it wasn't the game's. I guess I'm going to start to get into like the storyline of the game. What I think about the storyline of the game is that it's just a fantastic storyline altogether. What happens at the beginning of the game is your friend Daxter falls into a pit of what we call dark eco. And this dark eco turns him into this little orange furry creature, and we go to a sage. And it's the green sage Samos. And he tells us we're idiots, and the only two people that have a chance of returning Daxter to his original state are Gull and Maya. And they're actually the two antagonists of the game are actually Gull and Maya. They were possessed by Dark Eco, and now they're evil, and they control these creatures that they send after you. What they got to do is we can't just teleport to Gull and Maya because the other 3 sages, the red, blue, and shit, I can't remember the other sage. The red and blue sage. Well, there's 3 other sages, and I know they didn't turn on their travel portals. So you have to go over these like molten hot canyons of like lava and shit, and you can only do it with a zoomer. And the only person who has a zoomer happens to be Samos's daughter, and she says, "I'll let you use it if you can power it." But the next question is, well, wait, how the hell do you power this, you know? How to power this is actually pretty simple. You just need something called power cells, and you need 20 of them to power over the weakest part of the canyon. And to get these power cells, you have to go out into the village or go into the wild and just search for them. And to get these power cells, you have to do little tasks. And throughout the game, you have to do these little attacks. Like, you get 20 power cells to go over the first cave you get to the next stage. And then you realize something happened to them. You go rescue them. And then you have to get to the next stage, and you have to get more power cells. So the whole game is just getting power cells, getting power cells, getting power cells, getting power cells. And I will admit that at one time, it was, like, really annoying when you first start. You're like, is this entire game getting power cells? Yeah, pretty much. It's just getting power cells and getting to Golden Mile. But it's a fun time doing it. And I would highly suggest picking up this game and trying it if you haven't. But nevertheless, you get these power cells and you go fight Golden Mile. And the final boss of this game is absolutely just phenomenally well put together. I remember sitting, like, as a little kid, it took me hours to beat these people. Just, you know, I was a little kid, I was watching my older brother do it, this and that, and he destroys them 2 tries, and it takes me 14. Probably even more, actually. Probably even more than 14 tries, but that doesn't matter. Overall, I feel like the gameplay and the entire game story is really well. And now my history with the game. My history with the game, as I just mentioned, is normally brought up with, like, my brother. What we had is we had the 2 later installments in the series, Jak 2 and Jak 3, which are actually significantly harder than this one. And I couldn't beat them. And I know my brother couldn't beat Jak 2, but he did later on, I think. I can't even remember. He stopped playing video games long before I did, but that's besides the point. We had these later 2 installments, and I couldn't beat them. So my brother got me this game for my birthday, and I just cruised on through it. Like, this is an easy game. Most any ages can do it. It's rated E, and it's highly suggested for everybody. However, when it comes to being more difficult and different of a storyline and a lot more violence, that's when Jak 2 and Jak 3 comes on. Now, I'm only gonna touch briefly on this, but Jak 2 is about Jak gets captured at the end of this, and it's pumped full of dark eco, and which is why, like, the game Daxter for the PSP, that takes place too. Daxter goes and helps Jak, but he gets pumped full of dark eco, and right after Daxter shows up, that's when Jak 2 starts. And there's a lot of violence, and you're trapped in a city, and all you're trying to do is get out of the city. Then Jak 3 is, at the end of that, you guys go into, like, a desert type of thing. I don't even know the storyline. But those are both also very violent and very difficult. Jak 2 was my favorite, just because it was the most difficult. But back to Jak Daxter and the Precursor Legacy. This game is a roundabout great game. My personal nostalgic feel with it is, I think it's perfect, or not perfect. I think it's one of the top rated games of PS2. It goes hand in hand with Shadow of the Colossus and Kingdom Hearts and Sly Cooper, as we all know, which I'm probably going to do Sly Cooper next, guys. Spoiler alert, Sly Cooper is in the next review. But overall, great game, great storyline, great gameplay. I would highly recommend it for everybody to go try it, because it's just a big platformer game where you just go out into the wild, do little tasks, beat the shit out of everything, and that's pretty much it. It's got a great storyline, and you get thrown into it. You kind of feel like you're Jak by the end of it, because the storyline's that good. You're kind of like, hey, like, I want to go fight these guys. Golden Mile, they make me mad, you know, they're ogre face, whatever. But overall, great game. So are the next 2 games, Jak 2 and Jak 3. Go check it out for the PS2. And I don't know, I think it might be remade on the PS3. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on it. If not, they should be. But go check it out. Jak and Daxter and the Precursor Legacy is the first installment. And thanks for listening in, guys. If you guys like my content,